Hey guys, I'm here with Aurelio Fuentes.
That's right.
Like the fountain. And Carolyn Kaufman from DECA.
Yes.
And DECA is a very special company on the island of Puerto Rico that helps all of you that want to go out and find different incentives. So what we've talked to them about, Aurelio and I, over the years, has always been to do with tourism. But there's 11 different programs, at least, that you just told me about,
Yes,
Carolyn.
there's so many.
So we're going to have a conversation today. You just were up on stage presenting.
I was.
And I was hoping maybe you could recap what you were talking about there.
Sure. I got up on stage to speak a little bit about what the incentives options are for the development of real estate here in Puerto Rico. So we started talking about the tourism incentives. It's one of the most generous incentives for property development. Obviously, it has to be related to some sort of touristic activity. The Act 60, or the Code of Incentives, identifies a list of what would be an eligible activity. It could go from a 3-bedroom Airbnb, bed and breakfast, not an Airbnb.
Definitely not an Airbnb.
Not an Airbnb. From a theme park, it could be a golf course, it could be a 250 hotel, bedroom hotel. And even outside of that scope, the secretary can deem an eligible activity that's not within the list if he or she, whoever's in command, determines that it is favorable for the economic development. So when you are eligible for a tourism decree, except nautical tourism, you may claim tax credit on the development or what you invest to develop that touristic activity.
But not nautical?
Nautical tourism is the only one that's expressly...
So I can't buy a yacht.
You cannot buy
and then get a 40% tax credit.
Yeah, that $6 million yacht, you want it,
you just crushed my dreams.
I know. Sorry about that. You cannot claim 40% tax credit on that.
But you can take the preferential tax rate.
You can take preferential tax rate if you're going to put people on it and tour them around.
Yeah.
If you're going to do some sort of touristic activity related to that yacht. So for that investment in that development of tourism activity, you may claim either 30% or 40% tax credit. So if you invest $1 million, you may claim $300,000 or $400,000 in tax credit.
Has it gotten better? So when I first started, it was Act 74. We did a small project in Luquillo, and we went for the 30% tax credit because it was going to be quicker. So we got our tax credits at about year 5. It didn't turn out to be quicker for us. I will say we did that in-house ourselves, which I don't advise and would not do it again. Hire DECA. Have them take care of it for you because it is a pain in the butt. But for me, since then, I've told everyone, just go for the 40% tax credits.
Yes.
Don't go for the 30% tax credits. It's not really faster, but I wonder if that's changed.
I mean, for context, the tourism program or application is one of the most complex. It has so much information required and documents required. So the evaluation process is equally complex.
Yeah.
It takes a bit more time. But, I mean, it will take some time because for you to claim those tax credits, there's a timeline specified in the Act 60, 30%. You can claim in advance before you finish your project, your construction, and before you start operations for the 40%. You have to finish your project, start operations, and wait at least a year.
Right.
And after that year, you can start claiming the first tranche of tax credit. So it's going to take a bit.
But
I mean, maybe you or people that have currently invested or claimed tax degree can tell me if you believe it's gotten better. I think it has, maybe.
I still think it's not better enough that I wouldn't go for the extra money. So that's how I would say that. It's, that extra 10% is a big deal.
Yes,
it's a lot of money that you're leaving
money
on the table.
Yeah. And
I
as
agree.
always, it's a process, right? And you've done this now several times that on the first time, you didn't know what you didn't know, right? Now, going through it and going through the paces and working with several others, let's say advisors, it's an easier path forward. Yeah. However, we do recommend always that people can come and ask questions, so they're better prepared before starting the project,
Yeah.
so they don't leave any type of incentives and money on the table by not doing things properly.
That's something, Aurelio, that your company is very good at. Like, if somebody who's watching this video has a hospitality project that they want to do, two things I would do. One, go and meet with the tourism company before you purchase, so while you're under contract, so that you can have your purchase qualified for the taxes.
Very important.
Very important.
Very, very important.
Very important.
But also probably equally important too, maybe meet with DECA and have them game plan with you how you're going to structure your tax credits, but how you're going to structure, is it going to be a guest house, is it going to be a bed and breakfast, is it going to be a hotel? Or I guess there are other ways that you can do it as well.
Yes,
So,
thank you for
but make
that.
sure it qualifies.
Yeah.
It might be an eligible activity because you start spending money in something that's not going to be eligible.
Yes.
Ultimately, you just have to let it go. That investment is not going to count towards.
well, and we say that, guys, all the time. When you're investing in hospitality or anything else on the island of Puerto Rico, please don't do it because you're going to get some tax credits.
Yes.
Invest on the island in these different projects because they kick ass and they're going to make you a bunch of money. If the tax credits come, that's your cherry on top, right? And if they don't come, you still did a great project, made a whole bunch of money. If you try to make something that's not a good project into a good project because you're going to get 40% tax credits, it's a recipe for disaster.
I agree with
I
that.
couldn't agree with you more. And again, it's not only the project has to have its merits.
Yeah.
The credits will come if we follow the process and do it correctly, which will put your ROI on the project a lot better.
Yeah.
But the merits for starting the project have to work the project
That's
without credits, right? And without any incentives.
Yeah.
All of that comes as a cherry on top to motivate you to spend the money
Yeah.
and have a quicker return on your investment
Yeah.
that you wouldn't had in any other jurisdiction. Same goes to other types of incentives, as for research and development incentives in Puerto Rico.
And you help with that too, right?
Yes, we cover all of the agnostic on incentive side. We just try to bring economic development to the island,
Right.
and help people have a soft landing in order to understand the incentives and have the best path forward.
Right.
So it's streamlined for them. There are not hidden issues later on the through the process
Yep.
of the project. So my first recommendation to everybody watching, my friend here, is to feel free, contact us. We'll be more than happy to give you clarity on the process, and then you can decide and make educated decisions.
Yeah, and I would say one of the advantages that you'll get from doing that, in all likelihood, is that by going with a company like DECA, you're going to maximize the credits that you get. And so what we've seen is where we did get 30% tax credits on one of our deals. Had we instead gone with DECA, we would have probably gone with the 40%, and we would have probably actually received about 50% of what our total investment was. But we didn't know. We didn't know. And I don't know if it was sooner, but yeah, probably sooner. Sooner and Puerto Rico aren't things that match up.
I think it's slowly getting better.
Slowly getting better,
Yes.
that matches up, yes.
It's knocking on doors every day and just being aligned with the project and the incentives, right? Because dealing with these types of, right, there's a lot of things that have to happen. So we help you get concentrated on the project per se.
Yeah.
We'll take care of the incentives, permitting side, and everything else.
That's right. Aurelio and Carolyn, have the incentives continued to grow? When I came to the island of Puerto Rico, I had no idea that this kind of incentive program even existed. And then about a year in, I found out about tourism. And then at some point, I heard that I should have been Act 20 and 22, but I didn't know. And then you hear about incentives for research and development. You hear about incentives for farming in certain instances. It feels like there's a never-ending list of things that you can get incentives for, and I don't feel like I've ever really gotten a grasp of all of them. And I gather that that's probably because it sort of is, it's evergreen. They're always growing. Is that true?
They're always growing, and
Honestly, a lot of them have been around for quite some time.
Yeah.
I think it's more of people not knowing they exist. In Puerto Rico, mainly locals don't know they exist. And it's a huge problem because you continue to hear that the tax incentives are only for people that come from outside of Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. But the truth is there has been so many incentives that that are not dependent on where you come from or where you've lived for a certain number of years. We got the agriculture decree, opportunity zones, which is development here in Puerto Rico. Green energy, manufacturing, export services, or goods. That's all for people that are here in Puerto Rico.
Everybody's eligible for that, guys, whether you're a local or you
Or
just
you're
showed up
coming.
last week.
Doesn't really matter.
It doesn't even
What
matter.
matters is the activity of the business. What are you doing within that business? So what I think it's growing, it's people's knowledge and awareness of the existence of these decrees. And I know the Department of Economic Development has been trying to get that information out there, because when I was working within the Office of Incentives, the amount of times that I met with people that had businesses that maybe came with that same comment that, no, the incentives are only for people that come from outside. And I asked them, but what do you do? They say XYZ. Maybe they're manufacturing cakes or making cakes. That qualifies for a manufacturing decree. Since when are you doing it? 10 years ago. You could have had tax incentives
all of this time.
10 years ago. So it's not so much that they're growing. There's a lot. There's many. So if you're doing any activity, try to contact maybe your CPA, your lawyer, anybody, just to make sure if there's something available for that business of yours, because it might be available.
Carolyn, I with all respect to all of the CPAs out there that are wonderful, I highly recommend that you contact a company like DECA, because your CPA doesn't know. Your lawyer doesn't know either. These guys know this stuff, that this is all that they do, and it's a big deal. It's a lot of money. Adan, who's my partner, he's over there. He went to college in the States. When he came back, he looked into, can I get an export services business? Can I become Act 22? And you know what his accountant said? No, you don't qualify because you're a local Puerto Rican kid.
You're so right. And I've also had that experience where I have people whose CPAs never advised them on the opportunities they could claim under Act 60 or prior incentive laws. That they are not aware, and I think that's something that happens. But
we were renting things long-term on the island for 3 years before we were told that that's non-taxable income if we just know it, right? And it was like, oh, okay, we'll do more of that. But that's the idea of data not being really available on the island of Puerto Rico. That's not just sold comp data for real estate investors. That's data of any sort. And I think what you said, Carolyn, is one of the major issues with the tax credits is that people just don't know. People don't know, and therefore they then throw the baby out with the bathwater, because there's one portion of it that some people don't qualify for. And then they're just like, oh, Act 60 is bad, throw it away.
But I think one of the struggles is the noise that's out there, that people keep saying that Act 60 is not for us, tax credits or tax incentives are not for locals. And people just hear that and internalize that, and they don't even go out to ask whether that's available to them. They just take that as a fact. And it was one of my greatest battles within the Office of Incentives, is how do we get this knowledge out? And compete with that noise that's out there.
I've been putting it out there, and I'm not a professional for years.
I appreciate that.
I give it a 95% chance that in the comments of this video, someone's going to say, yeah, but I don't qualify for those.
That shouldn't be the case. Just like you mentioned, that the acquisition cost of getting a place to do a greenfield development. So there are many areas that maybe you wouldn't qualify for one type of incentives, but you will qualify for another, right? And it's just the stacking up of different incentives with each other, put together the ideal corporate structure. Like you have been mentioning, for example, many people from the States can come in and they can keep their company there. They can offset that by lowering a tax liability here at 4% and doing export services to that company. So their back office can be here, and it's an immediate savings to their company. So there are a lot of, for lack of a better expression, meat on the bone of incentives that almost every activity from manufacturing for research and development, which is why 10 of the top 12 pharma companies in the world are here. Some of the biggest medical device manufacturers are here doing their research and development they're manufacturing here and exporting to the world.
Yep.
Right? So the amount of information out there maybe has been limited, but I'm certain that DEC and Invest in collaboration are putting a great effort on having the word out. And again, people like you, like you're putting your grain of salt on.
We put it out there. You
I
guys.
know that you're doing a great job on that. And again, we'll be more than happy. Our main goal is to promote economic development for Puerto Rico by leveraging those incentives for companies to come over so they can create jobs, they can create development here. Plus, it's a win-win. It wins the country, it wins the company by having those access to non-dilutive capital, having a bigger ROI from their investments, and creating a better ecosystem for Puerto Rico to invest and continue growing.
Yeah. And one thing you kind of mentioned, you can also stack them, right? So you can buy a oceanfront property in Arecibo, turn it into a guest house hotel on the ocean, and have it in an opportunity zone and get tourism tax credits, and you get to take advantage of both.
Those two you cannot stack. You cannot claim tax credits on two different
No, you claim one or the other in the tax credits, but you do get the full benefit of owning it for 10 years and then not paying capital gains. The way that I understand it, I can take the 40% tax credits for being hospitality. I can pay 4% on the money that we make over the next 10 years. And if I own it for 10 years and a day, then I can sell it, and all of the capital gain is no tax.
Yes.
That's stacking, you guys.
Yes.
That is freaking huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are other ones, for example, for manufacturers, there are ones for machinery equipment.
Yeah.
And it's not double dipping, but there you will have also research and development tax credits. You can use federal grants for like NIH, SBI in Puerto Rico for research and development activities, and you will still generate research and development.
So you can use grants for research and development and generate. It's a 50% research and development.
It's a 50%,
tax credit, right?
and it's higher. It's every year. It's not per project. It's every year that you conduct those that you spend. Puerto
Rico's the gift that keeps on giving sometimes, Aurelio. So that is really phenomenal. Plus, another one is energy, right? Like, so you can have a hospitality play, and you can get some kind of grants or something to put solar on it
to generate your own renewable energy.
And you can stack that, right?
And you can stack that, and you do a PPA with another entity, and you do a PPA with a hospitality project.
Do you see why you guys need to be talking to the professionals and don't just take it from me, I'm just the guy on the internet, but go and sit down with someone who actually knows this stuff, because it's worth a lot of money to you.
Yeah, so, and again, we're more than happy to help, and feel free to contact us, and again, feel free to continue listening to Rob. He's amazing on what they do. Thank you so much for putting the island on the map and for taking the time for doing this.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure. Thanks for sitting down and talking to me. Pleasure to meet you, Carolyn. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A pleasure.